hello? Wait a minute, has my mic been on this whole time? Oh no. Wait. Terrible. That means heard potentially things. Anyway, hello. Closet is open. Oh, I am very, very... Hello? I think I need to fix my mic a little bit, because some of the noise testing, ba 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 ba. I'm going to make sure my suppression levels are actually ba ba ba. Is that better? So what my usual mic settings are a bit restrictive, but now I'm trying to open the floodgates a bit more so it can pick up the tiny little nuances in my voice. Anyway, hello! Hello! If you're wondering if I also sound different, it's because my mic used to be over here. Now it's over here. So yes, you can see it, but also it makes sense that it would be here because my camera's here. So I noticed that when I was watching VODs, like for the Undertale Yellow VOD edits like came out like this week, and I noticed that whenever I would like lean in and look at the camera, my voice would actually get softer because I was leaning away from the mic, which was like over here. And so actually, like, I should try to test to see if my mic being closer to the camera, so like when I'm, you know, referring to the camera, it's louder and it's more appropriate. Anyway, hello! Hello, hello. Oh, goodness. It's been a day, if I may say. If I can also take a second to adjust the filter here. Hue shift. Nope, not that. Nope. How about I hue shift it to 0, and then I lower the gamma. There we go. Ooh, ooh, you know what? That's okay. That's all right. That's better. Okay. I think my camera settings were still adjusted to the winter daylight savings era of things, which is why it was just so bad. Anyway, hello. Hello. I'm so tired. I didn't even work today, guys. I just wasn't feeling very well, and so I in fact stayed home from work, and yet I am still tired. Ugh. It's just one of those days. It's okay. I have 2 bowls in my room. One is actually full of food, so I could have used one of the bowls for the other, so I feel like a fool. But anyway, hello! I hope you guys have been having an alright week. I'm glad that a little bit of the keychains can be perceived. Hello, they are back there. Hello, hello. I don't know if I've showed this on stream before, but I bought this this button pin. I think it's originally for like yeah, I think it's just for pins, not for buttons per se. But it's a book that you can just like flip through, and look at that. It's like a little like a visual catalog that I can use for display purposes. So yeah, that's also a thing. Ayo, pin book, yeah! See? It's down there. You can see it. Anyway, so I think I should do this for a lot of streams where I'm doing art, in which I run a poll on Twitter beforehand on what I should draw, because I have kind of like a pool table. I have a lot of cue balls of potential ideas and projects bouncing around at one time, at all times. And so it helps to have someone else control which one eventually goes into the— I don't know how pool works. Goes into the ball hole, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, today we will be drawing some Vocaloid. Which I was actually, I put that on the poll because I've been meaning to draw some Miku. Maybe not Miku specifically, though yes, Miku specifically. But I haven't drawn Vocaloid in a while, and I've been meaning to make some Vocaloid charms. Making me choose between two of my special interests, Pokemon and Undertale, and also Chromosynth, which I always want to see. It warmed my heart to see that there was at least one person who voted for Chromosynth, despite it being the obvious, like, loser in a competition of champions. The Chromosynth fandom is dying. Share if you're a true spectrum. Share if you're also on the spectrum. Anyway, let's play something more exciting. Silly game OST for silly kitties. Proudly voted for Chromosynth. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't even see the poll in time to vote. Oh, you saw it like at the end? Well, to be fair, I only ran it for 20 minutes. From 7:30 to 7:50, basically. So. Alright. So I actually have this sketched out already. So the background idea I have for Vocaloid is basically, like, there's no Vocaloid logo per se, but I thought I would do like a little computer monitor for them to sit in. So I'm just gonna combine this sketch and then draw on top of it. I was chatting with Mom at that time. Oh my gosh, we get it, Roll Wildfire. You have a healthy and supportive relationship with your mother. Ugh. Rubbing it in our faces on the Mother's Day month, of course. I'm kidding. I'm glad you have a loving and supportive relationship with your mother. Honestly, every time I hear about it, my heart does a little dance because I'm happy for you. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing alright. The month of May is almost ending, which is astonishing to me. Like, I don't know why May seemed simultaneously so long and so short at the same time. Does everyone else experience time in a fucked up way where they're like, the days are passing by too quickly, and also the month has been very long. It makes no sense. Anyway, I'm gonna cheat and use some shape tools, baby. That reminds me, we had a very funny interaction while we were talking. I hate to be a comedian who's like, does anyone feel that the time is fleeting? Haha. I don't know what comedian I'm doing an impression of. Probably some kind of Jerry Seinfeld. I was about to say Christopher Robin. What's his name? No, that's the bitch from Winnie the Pooh. Christopher Nolan? No. Christopher Walken! That's his name! Why didn't I name every, like, other irrelevant Christopher before I named him? Anyway. We were talking about how hot it is outside, and my mom said that she keeps the blinds cold to beat the heat. I, however, am a plant with slightly more complex emotions. Real. And I need the sun to not feel like shit. Roll Wildfire, there is something in your DNA that was like, this bitch is truly sun-coated. And when I mean that, I don't mean coated in the sun, like shimmered. I mean like coated as in there's something in your DNA that is coding you to be like heat and fire and sun themes. Which I think is very cool of you to be themed like that. I said I love and need the sun, and she said I love and need the moon, and then I said, oh my god, we're so sun and moon coded. Classic. I guess that is, like, our generation slang when saying coded like that. It just, like, occurred to me. It must sound a little strange to the oldens. She rolled her eyes so hard at me. Roll Wildfire, you might have well said something about her fucking astrological sign. Like, that's how much sense it made to her. She doesn't know about, the delusions we have about fictional characters. Oh, hell yeah! Sorry. I got really loud. I'm gonna turn my volume down. Because I got really excited over, Superstar Saga music. Hi, Rosingnet! Nice to see you again! I was about to say nice to meet you. Like an idiot. I'm turning this shit up! I was at a makeup store today and the cashier said slay. And I've never felt older. Slay's been around for a while though. Radiant Roses. Like, if you say slay makes you feel old, you must be like 40. Though sometimes I do hear like an 8-year-old say like bestie, and I do feel a little something wither away, you know? I feel that. I've just never heard anyone say it unironically. I mean, you're at a makeup store, the employee might have been held at gunpoint to say something like slay, so I don't blame them. What you working on? I am working on a sitting charm, like usual, you know the charms that I make where a character sits, but they are Vocaloids. And for the background, I am making a little computer. Because Vocaloids are software, as you all know. I know, I'm working on the boring part first, then we'll work on the MIKU. Do you ever just draw like a nice circle and then you see the reverse side of it and you're like, maybe that wasn't so nice? Because I saw this circle I drew on the right side and I'm like, that's a pretty good circle. And I looked at it on the left, I'm like, maybe it's not that good. Nothing like the mirror tool to humble a bitch. Truly. How do you decide what should be made into a charm? I don't think I've seen you do interest checks. Rose, if it makes sense to say this, I don't usually do interest checks because I don't think people are interested enough in what I make for me to get the things, the information that I would need from interest checks. Like, because I don't have enough orders or my store doesn't have enough attention for me to feel that that is necessary, if that makes sense. Honestly, if enough people, ironically, show interest in an interest check, then of course I'll prioritize it. It's just that I don't know. Maybe this is me like shit-talking myself, but I just feel like, I don't know. I'm not important enough to have interest checks. I just try my best to see what works. I'm still throwing things and see what sticks, so it sticks, and then people just happen to attach themselves to whatever does. I mean, partly, I kind of did an interest check on Twitter just now, in that I run a poll asking people what they wanted to watch me draw on stream, and people said mostly Vocaloid. And so in a way, that is a bit of an interest check. That's like, oh, no, people want to see that. That's probably a one-to-one correlation of people willing to, you know, buy something like that. Let's see. Line pattern transmittance. Ooh, I just found a really interesting pattern I want to use. Look at this! It almost makes it look like it's like, you know, like they're in a 3D space. Ooh, that's cool. La, 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 la. And then one more, it's the little wavelength up above. And kind of like what I did with the Powerpuff Girls charms, I'm going to make it so the color coding is going to match each character. So like Miku's is gonna have like a nice pink and teal background. This doesn't have to look perfect, because it's in the background after all. So as long as it looks pretty passable. Alright? So for Miku, for example, you're a braver soldier than me. I have a bad habit of making every single minute detail about a piece as perfect. Listen, I also suffer from cringe artist perfectionism time, but the difference between you and me is that ultimately at the end of the day I am lazy. So I am willing to overlook a detail as long as it's hidden enough in the background, if that makes sense. If it's in the forefront, then I will in fact spend all of my time fretting over it. But if it's something that can be covered up at the very least, I'll be like, I'll do my... I'm very perfectionist about what is visible and what is obvious, if that makes sense. And sometimes that varies, honestly. Sometimes you're at a skill level where you think people are able to notice what you notice, and you're like, they won't, they won't, you know, they won't rest until they aren't able to see all the mistakes I see, which is a very flawed state of mind. Most people won't notice the things you see because that's how skill works. I'm trying to get out of that habit by posting more sketchy stuff, but it's a tough habit to break. I gotcha. It is tough. If it's anything, something that helps me break the habit of long work in favor of doing the short and simple sketches is literally just having the satisfaction of saying I'm finished something today. Like, I look back at my like, I keep folders of stuff where, like, I organize them by date. So, like, for example, if I finish something today, like a piece, I would name it 5.25 and then the title. And looking back at my 2024 folder, seeing a lot of things makes me happy. Even if the, you know, quality of the things might not be ideal, but seeing, like, that there is a measure of, like, a diary of sorts of the days where I have, like, where I can look back and see, oh, sometimes I feel like I haven't done enough, but then I look and I'm like, oh, I actually did a lot this week. I'm just really bad at remembering, like, the overall quantity. Like, I'm always thinking in quality terms, and it's, I love dating my art pieces. Yeah, let's go. That's professional shit. When writing Chromosynth, how many rewrites do you do to a scene? Rewrites is hard to put a number to, because I feel like Chromosynth is constantly changing whenever it is not, like, published. Like, if it's published, that forces me to stop the cyclical nature of editing everything. So to answer that question, there are always rewrites. Usually of, like, a smaller nature, if it's just coming to tweaking some things for tone. Usually big changes are pretty few and far between, specifically because I'm working on that. I'm working on not changing the big things all the time. That's honestly me with writing, except with rapid fire focus. Too many details or too few? Honestly, me with writing, I'm arguably lazier and less perfectionist with writing, because I feel like I'm more big picture with writing as opposed to art, in which I can be very minute at times. But with writing, I feel like I'm so focused on getting a scene done so I can progress to the next part. So, and then that goes to the next part, and etc, etc. But with art, I'm like, it's less so like a frenetic, oh, I have to finish this. It's more like, I should finish this, but hold on a second. Let me just put a little spick and span on it. And then, it never comes out. That's just how it is. Or I just overthink the whole process and never start at all, which is... The tough thing about art, at least from my perspective, is that the toughest thing is starting and committing. finishing something is actually, finishing something is also hard. Actually, every step of the art process is hard. What am I saying? But, like, the most frustrating, honestly, the biggest hurdle I have when it comes to art is starting and committing, ultimately. Because when you're finishing up something, at least you can see a finished project and you're like, this is the product of all the work I did. But when you're committing to something, you just have to believe that the work you're doing is going somewhere. And that is a tough thing to believe sometimes. You know how it is. We're not even halfway through the year yet? Well, we're gonna be. Soon. In like a week or so. I have so many pieces in my head that I want to do, but I can't start them. Ain't that the truth? There we go, there we go. There we go, that looks good, that looks good. I have so many things to world build, ugh. There we go. Let's put that at about 80. I'm gonna delete the speakers. The hardest part is committing to a design for an OC. The weirdest thing is that my initial reaction to that, Rose, was, no it's not, but then I'm like, I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite, okay? I can fully acknowledge that I am, if you know, if adding unnecessary changes to an OC was like moving from place to place, I'd be Mr. Worldwide, okay? I'd be Mr. 305. I understand this, and I acknowledge this. But in truth, when it comes to committing to a general visual look for an OC, I feel like that's actually quite simple. If that makes sense. Like for Ujin, maybe the specifics of like where little accessories go or how the hair should look were, you know, some things that I had trouble finalizing for a bit. But I never had any doubts that she would look like the vibes of Ujin would be what they are. You know? It's about the vibes. You gotta commit to the vibe. Ask not what your OC vibe is, but how your OC can vibe for you. There's literal proof of you doing this. Documented proof of Sangold not committing to a character design. I understand that, but I'm talking about the vibes, okay? The vibes are different. The vibes have always been, yeah. Alright, tentative background. Now, we draw the MIKU. That's why I give them a few outfits. That's why even, like, the biggest, you know, corporations and character designs out there, like Overwatch, for example, that's why they have so many different skins. You wanna know why? Not only because it's, you know, money, 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 and fan service, but also because, hey, sometimes your characters will look better in a different skin. But you can just say, here's another design for them. You can just do that. I mean, obviously it's good to stick to a main design, but, you know, there's no shame in alternates. I'll certainly do that for now. I'm focusing on a few characters that need fleshing out and researching. Research. They don't tell you about that at the OC... at OC Academy, that's for sure. Anyway, this actually is, based off... this pose is based off of, not to brag, but, I don't know if you know this, but I actually drew the concept art while I was at U2's for the official, MIKU figure. Well, at the very least for the first one. They did several MIKU collaborations since then. And the pose I did was just like a hand out and a kind of a hand to the headphones situation. And so I kind of want this to be a little bit mimicking that, just as a tribute a little bit. I've been at an impasse in a character design. I think she's a little boring in that department. Used to do arc design critiques. And this sounds, this might sound strange, and that's why I'm asking this tentatively. Do you think people would be willing to buy character design critiques? Because it's something that I can do, like, kind of like one of those, like, sketch requests. I can do it very, like, offhandedly on stream. I'm willing to do that, honestly. But for, like, a really in-depth, like, I am getting in the weeds with you, with my, like, hands and my sleeves pulled up, would people be interested in purchasing a transaction like that? Because I am willing to do that, but I would also want to gauge if there's an interest for that. Because, of course, I am... If it comes to it, Rose, and you can't afford it or you're not interested and that's perfectly up to you, I can give you a very cursory, like, look and give you, like, a, you know, like what I can in the moment. But for more thorough ones, I'd be willing to put the work in if I was compensated. And that's not on you, it's just because, like, you know, it's for my time, and also, money's tight. That's all I gotta say. It's okay. You gotta make do. You know how it is? The only character- money is nice. The only character of mine that got a major design overhaul is Xavier. He used to look completely different. One day I should draw his beta next to his current design. Oh my gosh. Dude, one of the most fun things about character design changes is the comparisons. Being like, dude, my character used to look like this. Now let's, like, follow the timeline as if they're, like, evolving like a dinosaur before your very eyes. Like IRL money or Twitch points. Actually, do I have a Twitch, Kerbux redemption for an art critique? I think I do, actually. Hold on. Oh, I don't. Huh. I think I had one at some point, but it would be it would probably be IRL money. Or I could do like a smaller version with with Kerbucks and whatnot. I would call it a character design consultation, to put it in professional terms. You used to, but it's gone now. Gee, I think I may have removed it because no one was using it. Xavier used to be white. I have a couple characters who used to be white, so, you know, that's how it is. She sang big. She sang la. The feminine need to see all these characters you're mentioning. Hold on, I need to actually bring up MIKU reference because yeah, her design, despite being very iconic, actually has some details in there that need a little bit of research. Chunky headphones, my beloved. In media consumption news, I watched The Bear for the first time. Both seasons, though I haven't quite finished the last episode. And I'm trying to be, you know that meme of the GF who's always, you know, oh, I'll watch, it's on my list, you know, I'm gonna watch it soon, you know. I am always that person where it's like, oh, I've heard of that show, yeah, it's on my, you know, I've never watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, technically, you know, it's something that I've never watched. Full Metal Alchemist, I've never watched a lot of classic things that I have knowledge of through, you know, cultural osmosis, but I never sat down and just really watched them. And it's always been on my list because I understand that they're good, but, you know, they're a commitment. So I've never had the time nor the gumption to just sit down and experience them. But that was like that with one show, The Bear, and I watched it. And I must say, going into a show expecting a particular kind of romance and not getting that, like, I did this to myself. I think this is how non-Voltron fans felt when they thought the series was gay and about clans, but they watched it and it actually wasn't. Like, that's how I felt, like, believing that there would be a romance between Sydney and Carmi, and there actually wasn't, but the fan art made me think that there was. Like, I did that to myself, honestly. I don't blame the fan art. People have wonderful ways of expressing themselves, but they got me. Have you ever been fooled by, like, fan works like that, when you're like, oh, the show must be like this, considering the fans seem to unanimously agree that this is cool? Ugh. Again, did this to myself, but still. Do you get the thing where, oh hi Emily, Miku, where someone tells you to watch something the less you want to? I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been recommended anything in a while, so I can't quite relate to that particular feeling recently, but I do understand the feeling of something being popular, and my visceral response is to be like, it can't be that good. You know? Just like be a hater before even consuming the media, you know? Like, technically it makes no sense to resent something for what it cannot control, such as its popularity. But sometimes I can be a little hater. Like, what's something that's popular, but I, like, refuse to get into it? You know what? I mentioned Voltron earlier. That's probably a good example of something that was popular, but I was like, I saw so much of the discourse and of the shitty things the show did, I just refused to get into it. Or even, like, pretend that there was anything worth salvaging in the show. Like, I still see mutuals be like, oh my god, Clans or something. And I'm like, Clans is the most, like, milquetoast, like, white bread, like, ship that I've ever seen. Between, like, two men in a cartoon. And I say this as someone who sees two men interacting and go, they've explored each other's bodies. I think the reason why I get, like, particularly, sensitive about that is because when I make jokes about Ace Attorney being like, oh my god, Ryunosuke and Kazuma are totally boyfriends, I'm not expecting the game to fulfill that, and I am content in not giving the game credit for representation it didn't earn. But when it comes to things like Voltron, I feel like I grew up around people who gave the series, like, credit for gay rep, but it didn't do anything. And I hate the idea of taking, like, such bare minimum anything and being like, wow, Voltron hashtag did that, and then giving the series credit for something that not only they didn't do, but in fact, the little they did was bad and backwards. And so that's partly why I don't like Voltron. Just, like, out of sheer fandom resentment, you could say. Like, I'm sure it's fine. Like, it was made by the same people who, like, made Avatar, right? The art style is kind of similar. So I'm sure it's fine. It's not, like, the worst thing in the world, even though I know there are some video essays out there that would disagree. But I don't know. I can't. One Piece has too many episodes. How about, literally just watch the before the time skip and pretend that everything afterwards is like Boruto. It's like the sequel. Because, I also haven't watched all of One Piece because I'm human and I don't have, like, unlimited free time. But, I've watched enough One Piece to know that it's a pretty solid show. It's good. Like, there's a reason why it's fucking good. And I say that as someone who wants to go to Oda and hit him with, like, a stick because of the way he draws women. You know? I can be both things. Oh, Tomodachi Life. I cheated, I skipped intros, outros, and watched at 1.5 speed dub. I mean, I guess whatever helped you get through the series. But there's a time skip in One Piece. Oh yeah, you know how Luffy used to look like a dude who wore like this like vests. He just like looked like a little guy, and then he started looking like a guy, but he has like a fucking shirt that's open. He has a big scar in the middle, and he has this like, you know, suddenly he's like super like muscular and whatnot. That's the time skip. Also, people got less brown. That is also the time skip, you know, as they do in One Piece. Sometimes that's the fault of the animators, sometimes it's just how they're built, unfortunately. They lost their melanin in the war. You think that would be opposite of what happens in a pirate show where everyone is exposed to the sun? You think they would in fact get darker over time? But unfortunately, my theory is that it was a product of anime stylization and just general trend stuff. Because, like, animes, I'm not gonna be the whole, like, animes back in the day weren't afraid to have brown people, because that's just straight up not true. But, the old One Piece style is very, like, 2000s anime, and the new One Piece style is very 2010s anime, in which it's a lot cleaner and, like, saturated. So, you know, I have my theories. Zoro stopped being so goofy too. Really? I thought they sort of flanderized a lot of characters in the time skip, in that Zoro was just a guy who got lost all the time. Though, again, I have not watched all of One Piece. I am not a, you know, the most devoted One Piece fan. I am just very partial to the good things that One Piece does, and the bad things as well. You know, you can be both. Aren't they making a new One Piece though? They made a new One Piece show. It was the Netflix one, and I heard that one was actually pretty good. I heard it was like a good, like, tribute, first and foremost, to One Piece. And it, you know, like, the people who acted in it were, like, real, and they were nerds, and the guy who played Luffy in particular was just, like, a dude they picked up from Brazil who just happened to be the real-life Monkey D. Luffy. And he does little, like, Instagram shorts about how he could beat up a giraffe. And I'm like, yeah, that's Luffy. You found him. I don't know how you did it, but you found him. Like, this is him. You know? You've never heard of the One Piece live action? I feel like at a certain... I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, like, come up on my dash, but it's definitely, like, it was definitely talked about at a certain point. They're doing another anime. Yes, they're doing a whole new reboot anime of One Piece. I'm assuming because One Piece is maybe sort of kind of ending, and they're like, well, we got all this material, might as well start from the beginning. Oh, you haven't heard of the animated reboot? Gotcha. Hi, Asang. Hi, Rennie! Happy to see ya. I am drawing MIKU. Didn't the mangaka say he's ending it at 120 volumes? Did he say that? I am not quite sure. Though, again, I am not John One Piece. I don't know all that's happening. That could be true. When you're done with the line art, could I redeem a sketch request? Yes, you can. I wonder. I just thought of this just now. Would anyone be interested in Stardew Valley charms? Just gauging this super quickly, because people in, you know, this is an opportunity to interest check while I am live and do a little throwaway poll. Because, honestly, it's been a while since I've, like, obsessed over Stardew Valley, but I'm willing to draw the characters, not gonna lie. Very much so! Oh, how lovely. Who's your favorite Stardew Valley bachelor slash bachelorette? I believe I played a little bit of Stardew Valley on stream, so you guys already know my answer. And I ended up impregnating and marrying that man. Not in that order, but maybe in that order. But I did go with Elliot at the end of the day, because his scenes did woo me. And there is something about a, like, classical romantic man with long hair that I was like, I am going to give you, like, such a good life, baby. Like, you're going to make your cute little books and I will support you with my butch farm lifestyle. You know? Maru or Abigail Sebastian? Ooh, nice. Harvey, my male wife. Interesting. Honestly, it's weird, but I'm not a mustache person. So something about Harvey just doesn't click with me. I'm sure he's fine. Like, I've seen some interesting Harvey fan art that made me, like, look twice. But otherwise, Harvey's not quite my thing, but I totally respect it. I'm gonna make it bigger for cartoonish emphasis. He's such a sweetheart. I also have a liking to Leia. Honestly, my favorite girl was probably Leia. Just because she's like, she has that kind of like Applejack vibe, and that she's kind of she's like a tougher one. She's arguably the most tomboy, quote unquote, among them. And, you know. I love it when people draw her with short hair, because that's my girl. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If I hadn't seen previous playthroughs before, I probably would have gone for Sebastian. Elliot or Sebastian, honestly. Because there is some... Because I know he was, in a way, built to be an emo heartthrob, but... Oh, you heard that? You know, I do have my window open. I can just close it. There we go. No more motorcycles. I love drawing Miku's hair in a way that seems so voluminous. Like, it's just like this big hunk of mass that you can play around with. You know what I hate when people draw Miku? When people draw Miku, and you know how she has shoulder, like she has a sleeveless top? Drawing the top like this. So it's like, it's not covering anything. Or where it's just like I don't like that. Like, it should be stylistic so that maybe you can see a little bit of the armpit, but otherwise it should be something that, like, a person would wear outside. You know? The motorcycle near you made it all the way down to me? Oh my god. They went from Maryland to Virginia very fast. Very quickly. It was the fastest motorcycle. That was Joe Biden, and as a matter of fact, and his Secret Service. Actually, she is a robot, so she, like, listen. Vocaloid age discourse is very interesting to me, because on one hand, I understand the flexibility, like, personally, I am fine with people making songs depicting Vocaloid characters in sexual adult situations. Like, if it's clear that the characters in that setting are adults. Like, or, you know, at the very least, you know, it is not, like, exploiting minors in a sexual situation. Like, you know, like, some of my favorite Vocaloid songs are songs where, you know, Len and Rin do something a little nasty. Like, that's not the big part of it, but it happens in it. And listen, I understand that both of those guys in canon are based off of, like, a 14-year-old's voice. I can understand if someone wants to take that character and be like, hey, I want to depict a situation, let me age them up a bit and show them with, like, clearly more adult designs, and then work with that. I'm fine with that, honestly. I think Vocaloids are meant to be flexible in that way so that you can work with their voices like that. what I don't understand is people taking their base designs, not doing anything to make them like obviously seem older, and just straight up putting them in sexual situations, and then getting confused why people seem a little weirded out by it. Like, maybe people have a problem with your sexy, you know, I don't know, Rin song if she literally looks exactly like she does, which is a child, in the song. Like, you know, maybe I'm a prude, I don't know, but I am sympathetic towards the idea that people see Vocaloids as, you know, as these specific ages and then getting uncomfortable when they're depicted in, you know, adult situations. Ultimately, I agree with the idea that Vocaloids are meant to be, like, tools and that they are characters and they're malleable. In the same way that Miku can be a hijabi girl, Miku can also be, like, 25 years old if the song/story calls for it. I think that's perfectly appropriate. But I feel, and this is me personally, I can understand the discomfort if someone takes Miku as she is, not Miku in a... I am taking a spin on her in that way, just regular Miku, but I am gonna porn her. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that, man. That's just my hot take anyway. You're so real for that? People just be weird? Yeah. And again, you can do whatever you want, and I can understand it within the boundaries of, like, it's fiction. I am trying to explore something that is like this, and I just so happen to be involving a kind of gray area in which it could be uncomfortable for people. I get that. But also, you know, I just feel like sometimes people's art styles are not conducive to their point that they are depicting someone who is not a minor. I feel like someone is like, guys, the person I'm depicting is clearly an adult, and they literally, like, look like this. Like, this is clearly an adult person. I don't know why people are confused and think that I could potentially be sexualizing a minor, when clearly, if you look at the way this person is depicted, this is an adult. I don't know why you would think that there is confusion or anything here. Should I change my art style maybe to, you know, something that isn't, like, putting someone in these proportions? No. And again, I'm not telling people what to do, I'm just saying sometimes people's discomfort can come from not the most irrational place you can think of. That's all I'm saying. Autism creature looking ass. I'm really good at drawing autism creatures, is what I've discovered lately.
I hate to admit this on stream, but I was doing some online shopping. Not too much, just a little bit. Just a little bit of online shopping. When I saw Heelys for the first time in a while. But not quite Heelys, like, instead of having one in the heel, there were two, like roller skates. And that was like the only reason I didn't buy it. Is because they weren't like true Heelys. And I'm like, man, I remember having so much fucking fun with Heelys back in the day. I would love adult Heelys. If they're even still making them. I never owned Heelys as a kid, but I also didn't want them. I had one pair of Heelys that were my brother's, and I remember going to like movie theaters and just heeling around in them. And let me tell you, the freedom of movements, all, you know, within the same comfort as regular shoes, unmatched. That's why I want them as an adult. Even though, admittedly, doing regular walking on Heelys can be a little bit uncomfortable because the wheels are still there. I think the only reason why I stopped wearing the Heelys is that a rock got stuck in there, and it's really hard to get a rock out unless you get the whole wheel out. But, yeah, Heelys ruled. Not to be like 90s kids, nostalgia, but they did. I will tell no lie. They were probably the best chance I got at having, like, coordination. Because I'm not good at skateboarding. I'm okay at, like, rollerblading. But Heelys, I got that shit locked. I did have a couple of pairs of light-up shoes as a kid, dude. Every time I see a kid with light-up shoes, I hype them up so much. Because I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know if it's something that is as exclusive now as it was back then. But I remember back when I was a kid, someone having light-up shoes was like a big deal. And so whenever I see a kid with light-up shoes, I'm like, dude! Yo, your shoes! Yo! And I hype them up. Because they deserve it. A weird nostalgia I get is seeing photos of those elementary school gym rollerboards. Wait, do people not do them anymore? I mean, I feel like our nostalgia is partly like, oh man, I used to do that when I was a kid. And also, like, kids used to do that in general, but now I guess we don't do that anymore? What Dev is talking about is those little things where, like, you have these little handles, and if you were really smooth like me, you would get your fingers fucking caught in the wheels, like, rolling in them while you were grabbing on the handles. But these things were so much fun, dude. Dangerous, but fun. You know, maybe that's why we don't do them anymore. But you know, kids need to get hurt a little bit. I think it's all part of growing up that because kids' bodies are very bouncy and, you know, can reflect damage for the most part, we should take advantage of that and have them be in dangerous situations so they develop survival skills for when they grow up. I am in fact advocating for children to be harmed once in a while. Not by adults, but by some things in their environment that if they're not too careful with, you know? Not something that will kill them, but something being like a little, like if they're not careful, they can get a little damaged, but it's okay, they're kids and they can bounce back, you know? Oh, the big multicolored tent thing! Bro, I don't know if that was an unsafe thing. It was just cool as shit. Alright, that playlist is over. Time to... Happy Nintendo bops that give me unexplainable pure joy. I will click that playlist. Hell yeah, we're off to a good start. Also, I really like that Kirby picture. Kirby is in the tank! Did y'all play Kid Pix on the school computer? Kid Pix? Let me look that up and see if I do recognize it. I have this very latent- Oh, I see! Sorry, that O was very loud. But, for those who don't remember, Kid Pix looked like, this. I don't think I played this in particular, but I did play around with some MS Paint, which is very, very similar. But look at that. That's some shit. They don't use green and blues in this shade as much anymore in kid stuff. A damn shame. I have a very latent memory, I was about to say this, of playing Freddy Fish at one point. So much so that I have these, like the Freddy Fish level where, like, do you ever, like, have this very, very vague memory of something, but you don't know the context to it? Like, I can remember moments in Freddy Fish where, like, Freddy's up here, and there's, like, a bunch of, like, skeletons, or, like, some kind of cave, and there's a pearl down here that he has to get. Like, that's a very vivid feeling scene that I have in my brain that is probably based off of a real Freddy Fish scene, but I don't remember the exact scene because it's just a feeling that I get. It was so long ago. I did play Zoombinis though at home. I had so many CD-ROMs, dude. Jumpstart was my shit. CD-ROMs were, unfortunately, the poor man's home console growing up, so that they were all I had. I also watched Mamma Mia 2. That's what happened in my week. I had a hashtag girls night with my roommate and we watched Mamma Mia 2. Unfortunately, not as iconic and wild and camp as Mamma Mia 1, but it was strange at the very least. It delivered on the strangeness. And also Cher was in it, so, you know. I've never actually heard Cher before, so it was very interesting hearing the Cher voice where she goes kind of like a mix between Shakira and Fergie where she goes, "Oh." That's Cher. Very throat. I used to rent Jumpstart games from the library. Damn. Maybe I was the rich kid. I had Jumpstart games on the PC, on the home computer. Fuck with me. I got those bands, if you know what I'm saying. And I opened a CD cases full of like Jumpstart pre-K to 2, 3 grade. I don't think I've ever played Pajama Sam or Putt Putt, but I distinctly remember playing Freddy Fish at the library. It was not a game I had at home. The hardest part of this is going to be the skirt, which is why I'm saving it for last. Ooh, this music reminds me. Do you think anyone would be interested in Animal Crossing stuff? I think if I were to do Animal Crossing and Pokemon stuff, which involve kind of a large cast, it would probably have to be something a bit more mini, rather than something like this, which is more of a... The sitting charms are very main stage, like, ha, character. You know, they would need to be minis if they're like a bunch of characters. Saying, do you remember Fleens? Fleens? Wait a minute, you're not Fleens. Huh. Well, whatever you are, make me a pizza. Only real Zoom beaners know. Wait, that's a slur. Hold on. Cut the camera. Damn it. Damn. I was trying to make a joke and I accidentally said a possible slur. Ugh. I hate it when that happens. I apologize. I won't be saying that joke again. What's a funny and appropriate alternative to Zumbini fans? The Zumbini fandom is dying. Repost if you're a real Zoom, oh damn it. Zumbino? I feel like that's also a slur. Anything with bean in it is very susceptible to becoming, it's like one syllable away to becoming a racial slur. Which is very unfortunate because, Latin America is the reason why I don't have a hatred of beans overall. Because the way, in my opinion, the way Asians do beans is not correct, and the way Latin America does beans is correct. So, if anything, we should be thanking them for all they've done for beans instead of racially profiling them because of the beans. But, where's Twitch user Slur Slinger? That's true. Zoomers? Oh, aw. Are we Zoomers? Wait, what are Zoomers? I feel like in a way, I am getting too old to keep up with all the generational talk. Like, I know that if I'm born in 99, am I Gen Y? I'm pretty sure I'm Gen Y, in that it's like between Gen Z and Millennial. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know anything. Don't ask me anything. Zoomers are Gen Z? Oh, it's just another word for Gen Z, huh? "99 counts as Gen- I'm Gen Z? No. I felt like when I was a senior and I saw the sophomores, like we were a vast canyon apart. I feel like I was more similar to the year above us than the year below, if that makes sense. Sorry to break this to you, but you are Gen Z. No! See, generations, like, I feel like... I don't know. It's hard because, I believe 97 to, like, 2002 can be counted as what is, rarely known as the forgotten generation, and that we're not quite Gen Z, not quite millennial. We're in this weird gray area where we just witness the evolution of things more so than the new or the old. I believe the forgotten generation is what they're called, and so I'm more comfortable classifying myself as somewhere there than plainly Gen Z. I feel like I relate to Zoomers pretty solidly. I guess I do relate to Zoomers more than Millennials in the fact that I did not experience the 90s because I was, but a sperm for most of the 90s, if you can even count that. But I feel like I can't fully commit to Gen Z because I don't have TikTok and I won't download TikTok. I refuse to download TikTok because my attention span is bad enough with like YouTube Shorts. It'll only get worse with TikTok. Giving me TikTok is like giving a gambler like residency to Vegas. Like you're not doing anything good for them. Hi Semi! How's your gorgeous self today? Well, stop. I am simply a humble aquanaut being underwater enjoying Miss Miku. I can't with TikTok. I mean, I'm sure it's the future, and it's been the future, and, you know, there are some funny things that come from TikTok that make its way onto my platforms, but I can't bother to go on there because it's just, things are just too, like that. Maybe this is why I'm a little more millennial in this aspect. I can't with the constant, like, I can doom scroll on Twitter or Tumblr. I can't do it with videos. Like, if I do it with videos, there's something in me that snaps, and it's the worst. It's the worst. So I can do, like, never-ending scrolling with posts. I can't do it with videos. There's something about that is just, I shouldn't put that on myself. I shouldn't put myself through that. I'm not a super fan of short form content. Honestly, I'm fine with short form content. It's just, I don't like the way TikTok incentivizes short form content in a way that, like, I don't know. I guess I'm someone who likes YouTube or Twitter. I like something being sometimes videos or all videos, and, you know, they have a nice, like, I can look, how am I gonna put this? I actually don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I like flipping through the channel, but I don't like that flipping through the channel is as simple as, like, scroll, 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 you know? It feels very meaningless if it's that, you know, simple to me, I suppose. I mean, I like Vine. Listen, I remember Vine. Vine, see, the difference between Vine and TikTok is that Vine had a gimmick. The gimmick was its short form contents. And so you could argue that when you are scrolling, you know what to expect, and there is a kind of structure and predictability in that. In that videos have a first act, second act, third act, finale kind of structure with its videos. But with TikTok, all the videos are of different lengths. Most of them are short, but they're just so unpredictable and so overwhelming and overstimulating to me that it's something that I just cannot participate in. Even though every now and then there's a funny TikTok that makes me go, oh my god, that's funny, and I share it. But I won't go onto TikTok itself because I wouldn't want to do that. Unless I'm following, like, a specific person. Like, I understand the appeal of having a specific content creator you follow who has, like, these little short videos, and you're like, yay, my content creator and their videos. But to just use the website just to explore, like, I can't. I really miss the 6-second structure. I miss it too. I actually had a Vine account when I was in high school in a very shallow and sad attempt to become numbers big. But, you know, the best I did was maybe like 100 or 2, and most of them were like my classmates, which was also cringe in its own right. But, yeah. I had fun. Don't get me wrong, I had fun. I just want to remind you that I redeemed a sketch request. Yes, you did. How about this? Rose, after I color in this Miku, I will get to your sketch request. I will open up Discord in the meantime to see the details of your request so I do not forget. It's promoted creativity or a short, enjoyable moment of something mundane. Yeah. Like, what... If I could describe Vine and how it worked, it's basically Vine was GIFs with sound. And that because it provides a very specific limitation, it provides like just enough so that people can get creative with it, but it also just provides like a moment where you know it's not gonna last that long, so even if you waste 6 seconds on something you ultimately didn't expect or didn't enjoy, it's just 6 seconds, you know? My biggest problem with stuff like TikTok is that a lot of TikToks take advantage of the, you know, tune in for part 2. Like, I hate that. I fucking hate that. Either, you know, like, listen, I understand splitting something into parts because of the sheer work that goes into it. I had to split up my Undertale Yellow videos into parts because literally, like, I would be unable to process all of it in one video because my computer would die. But those videos that are like, I said a sentence and then wait for part 2 when that sentence ends with a, could it be a period or exclamation point? Who knows? It's like, ugh. It's like that thing. Engagement bait, and I think that's the main thing. Engagement bait, the sheer chaos and randomness, and the overwhelming nature of its content. The overwhelming and, overstimulating nature. That's why I don't like it. Ooh, Iris, I just saw your reference. Cute! Eris Prince. Eris! Let's go. The way I drew Miku makes it look like she's in a one piece. And not the one piece we were talking about earlier, but like a swimsuit one piece. Because I just haven't drawn a skirt yet. I'll get there. Oh, this song is a bop. Let's go. Actually, I think I made it so the headphones are here. There. Yeah, that makes more sense. I like a more teal Miku. I don't know about you guys, but I find teal to be like a very unconventional color to be used for a character, and thus I like it better on Miku, rather than just like a sheer blue. As a teal lover, you're so right. Yeah, exactly. Like, cowards be like, Miku is this blue. You know? Like a very definite sky blue. But like, no. Miku is like a very, very strong teal. I saw Hera from Hades. Ooh, I did see a little bit of Hera. Dude, I love it when teal is used for, like, very peacock characters. That's teal, baby! That green-blue? Oh, delicious. I forgot Miku's little tie clips. So let me add them real quick. Right there. I'm just gonna give a. I feel like a DJ. I feel like a DJ when I say this. I just want to give a quick shout out to people who are still looking for work, those who are unemployed, those who are half employed but still mostly looking for full-time stuff. I see you. I feel you. We're in this together. That's all I want to say. Because though I was not feeling too good today, I still ultimately did job searching, and wow, is it... Job searching is just one of those things where no matter how much you do it, there's, to me anyway, there's very little satisfaction that can be gained from it, because all you're left is just playing the waiting game. You don't get anything out of it immediately. Just, I guess, the innate satisfaction that you did that, and you just put all that effort in, but you don't know if it means anything until later, which can be... it can be torture sometimes. Thank you, Sangle. You're welcome, Royal Wildfire. I know how it is. I gotta draw her skirt eventually, but before I do that, let me fix this hand, am I right? Dude, I love it when, like, the fingers barely peek out of the sleeves and you're just like, just like a little bit. I haven't properly job searched in a good bit, and it's because it's so draining and demeaning. It is a bit demoralizing as a person, because you're looking at these jobs and you're like, you have to argue for your own worth, and if you are not someone who is used to, like, lying on your own behalf, it can be kind of draining. Even if you're not, like, actively going through the interviews, like, even just, like, talking about yourself in a way that's like, here's why I deserve to be in a position where I can afford to live. Thank you. I would love to work here. Again, survival. That's the main thing. But also, great place you got here. Great environment. I've heard good things. I've heard people who work here survive. It's pretty cool. I'm all for that. Hands are so hard to draw. Hands are... You gotta get the hang of them. You gotta get the hand of them. Tee-hee-hee. But, yeah. I feel like I'm in a position, or at least in a point, where hands are, like, pretty fun to draw. As long as you can understand how they work anatomically. I feel like I have a grasp, pun intended, of them. I actually managed to eat dinner while streaming. Cool. I left during the relatable unemployed conversation. Don't worry, it's still happening. Literally, you know what helped me with the... It's a hassle to find any writing work in Hollywood animation. I know, man. What helps me with hands is just thinking them like block, 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 and then thumb, but like kind of shaped like this, and then this, and then this, and like a little bit of this. And like that's it. You just have to think, and this is my ultimate art goal. Like, I know references, there's no shame in using references, etc. But my ultimate artistic goal is to like think of something, rotate it like an orb in my head, and then however I like imagine it, I can put it to paper. That is the ultimate art goal. Fuck drawing realistically or drawing like the most you thought I said autistic? Well, I made a not the first time I made the artism joke. Anyway. Like, that's the goal. In order to like, to take something, rotate it in my brain, and then just draw it from my brain directly onto the paper. But yeah, this is essentially how I draw hands. You just think of them as a block. And one thing that helps about fingers that I found is to, instead of drawing them like a solid thing, it helps to draw them like depending on where they're facing. Like, for example, if this is a hand that is facing like this way, the fingers usually look like this. Like, try to emphasize where like the finger is pointing particular. That's why when it comes to like even the curve of this is indicative of like the softness and the little curve of the hand and the finger. So that's one thing that helps with hands, is to emphasize the little straight and the little bounce of the curves. Hands is pretty much the only thing we can do better than robots. Score. That's fair. Though, you know, it's fun to make fun of AI, which is always a win in my book, but I always felt that it was a slippery slope to make fun of AI for being bad and noticeable, because there's always going to be a point where AI art is going to be good and not noticeable, but the ethical quandary of why AI is bad, it still remains the same. So I've always been in favor of not critiquing AI because it looks strange or uncanny, even though that's a valid thing to do, but critiquing AI for the, you know, the moral usage of it, and the fact that it takes art from databases from artists that didn't consent, mushes it into a stew, and spews it out for people to monetize without their permission. You know? Like, that's ultimately more important than whether or not the AI art itself is good. It's about the fact that its conception is somewhat immoral. You know? It's the same with, like, making fun of someone because they're, you know, they're not physically attractive. It's like, their appearance can change, and also their appearance could be similar to someone who's, like, a good person. What matters is, like, not that, you know? Something that's a bit more to the core of the issue of the person. Their behavior, not their, you know, how they look. Unless you insult them on their looks in a way that's very funny. That's my character flaw, is that I feel like I'm a very, like, morally uptight person, and that I have very clear boundaries as to what's right or wrong, but that tends to blur whenever humor is involved, and I'm like, okay, if it's a little funny, you can afford to be a little silly. I take comedy so like heavily over everything else sometimes that, like, listen, someone could, like, fucking bomb my house and I'd be like, man, it was kind of funny though. If it was funny, I'd be like, man, I'd be mad, but, like, I'm not as mad as I could be because it's kind of funny, you know? Traditional art did not die when Photoshop came out, but so I guess we are cool. That's the thing, though. Photoshop came out, and that was a photo editing program, as opposed to an art generation program. And, like, it's a different art form, photography, and, like, traditional digital art. But I can see what you mean, comparison-wise. I love that teens are calling AR art boomer art. I mean, it is boomer art, because it's cringe. And it's made by people who don't feel the intrinsic value of taking something and making it out of their own hands. Which is very boomer of them. I think art generally adapts to new challenges. When photography was invented, people thought art was over. I mean, that's true. I am very pro technology and moving forward. I am not the kind of person who's like, kids should stay away from iPads because blah blah blah. Because when you think about it, when newspaper came out, people thought that people would stop reading books. Or when books came out, people would stop something, you know? There's always something new that's being invented that makes people panic morally because it's keeping people away from each other, you know? That there's always a moral panic. Now, I will still advocate for children having a limited use of electronics because unfettered access to the internet can fuck you up, especially at a young, impressionable age. But you can still be like, you know, you can still have that take and not make boomer comics in which kids are like, Jack and Jill goes up the hill, but why didn't they catch their Squirtle when they were up the hill? Eh? Am I right, boomers? Ugh, kids and their phones. Ugh, I fucking hate those. That's boomer art, if I know any. AI art can technically... Ugh. I feel like... I remember when AI art was originally just... like, dinky little, like, weird photography melting together, where people would be like, I want to see a picture of Trump in a boxing ring with a kangaroo, and you just get like this weird moldy picture with these weird figures that maybe resembled Trump and a kangaroo, and you'd be like, haha, that's funny. And that was like memey and interesting, and I remember that era, and it's weird to call that an era, but yeah. And then afterwards people were like, how can I take this cool thing, and fuck people over and monetize it? Blaming the electronics is a classic excuse for bad parenting. I mean, honestly, if you fucked up your kid if they're like 4 and they're like a fucked up child, at some point you do have to blame the parent, because that's mostly on you, man. Listen, I'm not a parent, and I can't give definitive advice as to what's right or wrong as a parent, but like, if your kid is basically still a baby and they have fundamentally like a messed up, like warped, like growth, that's kind of on you, you know? Should have parented better. Maybe it's a bit cruel to say, and I'm half joking when I say it, of course. The whole idea that AI art makes it possible for anyone to make art ignores that anyone can make art and framing it like, no, see, the thing with Star Deck, truthfully, AI art isn't about anyone can make art, AI art is anyone can monetize art. That's what AI art ultimately, in its capitalizing of what it is, that is ultimately what it serves to be. It doesn't serve to further the creation of art, it serves to further use art as a vehicle to, like, promote something or to be used in something. It furthers the use of art as a tool rather than art as a legitimate expression of something. That is my, that is my ultimate problem with AI art. Like, n- taking all the corporate capital stuff aside, like, fundamentally, like, AI art takes the whole process of art, which is like the painstaking, the taking from others, the like you can take from others in art. Like, there are bases, there are like little tracing exercises, there's inspiration and references. There, art is what we take from ourselves and from others. But AI art just skips the whole your input and just takes the things that you should be putting in your head and then using your own hands to apply, and just skips that second step. I don't know. Like, and I know that AI can be like a general term for anything that is artificially generated, and I'm not saying that everything artificially generated is bad. There is some generated stuff that is good. Like, when you think about it, some art brushes, in the way that they are textured and formed, are generated in a way. They are like a little thing, a little prompt goes in, and you use it to generate something. But I know y'all know what I mean. Shout out to that one motherfucker who just draws with her mouth. Dude! Oh my god, I think I know you were talking about on Twitter. Oh, Jesus. Art will be the first thing to die in our capitalist system. And when you put it like that, it sounds quite sad. It was actually very sad when, like, I work for a library and I subscribe to a library newsletter, and I remember seeing an image, like an art piece one time that was like promoting something for like a library party, and I looked at it and I thought, that's AI. Because I could tell, because it was an image where like they were like, at first glance it didn't seem too bad. Like, it seemed like a normal stock photo, like of it, like an illustration of like books and owls my god, Safi! Oh. I am blessed with two wonderful things at once. Meow, 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 la 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 la. Meow, 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 la 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 la. Just the way the laws sound, and it's like they're so half-hearted, it makes me laugh. Time for this to be my vocal stim for the next week. La la la. Do you ever reach a point where your enjoyment of something may be ironic, but you've indulged in it so much that it's kind of genuine at this point? That's me with this song. Saying we are reciting the song in chat. I see that! I see that, and I see it proudly. What a lovely thing this is. We did it, Reddit. Meow, la 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 la. I'm so glad. I wish I had a cool take on Miku that was a little bit more interesting than literally just changing some colors and shapes around. But unfortunately, I have little to offer besides that. I hope the picture of the cat and the Yakult yogurt is helping the vibes of this song. I'm pretty sure I've listened to this playlist at least 10 times on stream at one point. Like, in total. Like, this same playlist, it just keeps appearing because the image, the Yakult cat, it captivates me. But anyway, let's go to that sketch request. Actually, let me see what this looks like with the background. Ooh, okay, not bad, not bad. Alright, okay. A punk bassist who is big, tall, totally friendly, and normal about love. Oh, I'm sure. You know I love me a red punk gal. Hydrate! Oh my god! My friend Kirby, hello! I just realized. This is not full of water. So inadvertently we are taking a break to stretch and also fill up my fucking water. I will be right back. I just need to fill this guy up. I can't hear the song that's playing right now. It's probably clashing with it. I apologize. But I have Sippy. Oh, stretch. Oh god, I really needed that actually. Everyone stretch if you can. It's stretch time. I may be going to the aquarium tomorrow? Wait, holy shit! I just realized our stream is the aquarium. So, for theme purposes, I'm gonna have to ask you to share pictures of the stream that you are going to. Dude, there's an aquarium near me. Probably. I don't know, there's probably one. I don't know. I'm in the East Coast, I'll find an aquarium somewhere. But hello, hello. Oh, cool, nice cool sippy. I really like the texture of the hair, by the way. It's like it's very like defined in its curls, but it's still fluffy. I like that. Aquarium tickets are expensive as shit, are they? I mean, running an aquarium is expensive as shit, so... I mean, I kinda don't blame the people for making them that expensive, but also, damn. Sangstream's aquariums will all tide me over for now. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But yes, I hope to those who are landlocked or simply poor as shit and can't access their local aquarium, allow my streams to be your own little fish tank for you to look into and tap the glass every now and then. Once the three of us are in the same area, we have the funds. We need to go to an aquarium together? Bro, we gotta. We gotta. Considering that we're all on the East Coast, this is like a true, you know, opportunity. Penis music? At the very earliest, I'll be up there around January of 2025. Dude, once the three of us, like, are in one area, like, legends. It's like legends unite. It's like Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre meeting at the same time. I don't know. I was trying to make a Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald joke, but whatever, man. I call Kyogre. Can I be Groudon? Gee, I wonder why my mods, both fire and water themed respectively, wanted to call dibs on Kyogre and Groudon. I wonder if that would ever be, you know, a predictable thing that would happen. I am the designated Rayquaza. You know, I do have a... I bought this for my brother because he's a fan of Pokemon Emerald, but I can show it off. In here. I believe they're still selling this, and I'll post a link to the listing to support the artist. But I bought this really cool standee. That's look at that. Look at that. It's like it's supposed to represent like a Game Boy Advance SP. See, look, it even has a little Jirachi sticker. But that's Rayquaza, and that's Groudon and Kyogre. Look at that. This is like my streams where I'm in the screen and these are my mods. Yes. So yeah, it's really cool. It's a little like Game Boy SP setup. But I'll link to that later in the Discord to support the artist, of course. Like, I don't really buy a lot of keychains and standees for myself, but whenever I do, it's because I saw it and I'm like, damn, that's an interesting idea. I am chilling in the ocean right now as I'm watching the stream. How'd you know? Literally, when I thought of, like, Safi watching my stream, I always think of, like, them like this. Like, to me, this is Safi. Just, like, floating somewhere. and this is like a phone in their hand, and that's where they're watching the stream from. And meanwhile, World Wildfire's like, you know those little like tanning things? Like, these are my mods. These are literally my mods. Literally us. And meanwhile, I'm up here like... right above the ocean and the land. Just kidding, I am underwater. I have a clear affinity towards the water, and so I can't, you know, I can't claim to be unbiased when I am clearly biased. Alpha Sapphire, my beloved. I actually do have Alpha Sapphire in the very legal, not emulated way. I do. You know. Because why would I do that? Nintendo wouldn't hire a sniper just to shoot me down if I said otherwise, right? Yeah. Just so you know, Eris is a fat woman. Godspeed. The UK flag patch. Did I inspire that? I hope Mara's design had a little bit of an influence in this. Teehee. Not because I invented people who look like Mara, because, I'd like to think that I am responsible for at least one itty-bitty crumb of things and people. I like to take care of things. I'm kidding. You can do whatever you want. But I see the little UK flag patch and I think British? British? Is that playlist over? Damn. It's always over way too soon, the Silly Cat playlist. Let's see. Silly playlist for silly people with rare songs. Let's see if we've played this one before. We probably have. I've been through every silly playlist in the entire fucking YouTube discography. Can't help it. I've been silly. Just checking in, by the way, Rose. Is everything looking alright so far, body-wise? Just want to make sure that I didn't take anything and royally bungle it up. Because that could happen. I do appreciate you, inputting in and, like, saying, like, by the way, because, yeah, sometimes you gotta tell me to make something a bit more obvious. Who's your character, after all? It looks good? Alright, good. I mean, it's a rough, little sketchy sketch. So, obviously it's not going to be the cleanest thing ever. But I still want it to look, at least, like your character. Alright, I think that'll be good. And it's like a very, like, ruby red for this character. Like a red with like a little bit of a, like a cool tone to it. If I may ask, what is the inspiration for their last name being Prince? Because that's a very unusual surname. And I'm wondering if it has any potential, like, symbolic significance. I'm definitely the kind of person to look into a character's name and be like, what does it mean? What does it mean, you know? And if it's something you feel compelled to share, then yeah. If not, that's okay too. It's a fake name. Oh, is it like a... Is it a pseudonym or is it like a stage name? Because you did say that she's a bassist. That's very cool. She's a hit woman on the side who uses a lot of fake names. I see. We love to see a girl boss winning, aka kill people. Alright, that'll be it. For the heiress. Nope, wrong texture. Learning about an OC. I believe in women's wrongs. Eris, do us a favor and do something about the monarchy. I love British characters whose existence is to be like, fuck the monarchy. I like valid, because I have my own British character who's like punk and they're like fucking steals from convenience stores or whatever. And like I like justifying her whole existence of being British by making her like a fucking asshole and a very rebellious punk person. It's like, yeah. Like she's British, but she's one of the good ones, you know? She murders people, but only like rich people, you know? I'm kidding. Eris for Iris. Oh my god. Oh, sorry. I almost knocked the mic over. Alright. Hope you enjoyed. Back to the MIKU. Actually, I should probably color in the whole background as something. There we go. That looks normal. Yay, thank you. No problem. You have a very lovely character. It is my pleasure to draw them. Okay, time to draw this fucking skirt. I'm ready. I can draw it. I can draw a skirt. I don't know why. Sometimes drawing people sitting is easier for me, but also sometimes drawing people sitting is hell because I have to draw physics. Ugh. Okay, let's get through this. I did it? Did I do it? It kind of looks a little spongy. Hold on. Maybe this is the point where I look up a skirt reference. References. Person sitting skirt reference. Alright. Okay, this will be tricky. Okay, that looks a little better. That looks a little better. By golly, I think that's good enough to color. Skirt reference minus AI. That's true, that's true. I was able to find ones that look like humans touched it, so we're all good. Is there anything else from Miku's design I'm missing? Because her design actually has like a lot of like little things. Oh, it's the belt on the other side. I'll draw it like here. Does that look right? Normal enough. It looks normal enough. I'm kind of losing track of where the legs start and the skirt ends. So I'm just gonna maybe color in all that. Let's go from there. weird segue, but I was actually watching South Park today for the first time in a while because I had the opportunity to, and I was like, oh, South Park has a new special and it's about Ozempic, I guess? And so I watched it, and it wasn't the worst thing in the world, probably because they were making fun of liberals for once. But yeah, it was interesting, and it kind of reminded me that even though they have a show where one of the major characters are explicitly meant to be unlikable and to say bad things, it doesn't stop it from the fact that he says it a lot, and that could easily get, like, worm your way into any impressionable person's brain. Like, I remember having a very distinct South Park phase when I was younger, and even when I was a teenager, I wasn't deliberately anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitism wasn't something that was introduced to me as a teenager, but South Park just has so much of it casually. Like, in a way that's, like, obviously it's making fun of this anti-Semitic person for saying it. I don't think it promotes anti-Semitic values, but it still has so much of it that you just kind of pick up on it. It's this weird, like, Streisand effect of, like, the joke is that they keep making is at the expense of the person making them, but they're still saying the jokes all the time. So I remember hearing about kids who went through so much shit at school because of the anti-Semitism in South Park that, like, leaked onto, like, other impressionable kids. And I remember watching South Park and thinking, like, yeah, like, if you watch enough of this, you could totally just, like, get it in your brain that even though this character who is saying the anti-Semitic stuff, Cartman, is explicitly, like, an asshole and not meant to be a good role model, he is still saying it so often that, you know, kids and people are mimicking creatures. Like, they're going to repeat things that are repeated after them. So it's like, ugh. Is this really bad situation? He's still saying that shit? I mean, is his character, and I believe one of the two, Matt Stone or Trey Parker, are Jewish. So they're making them sort of ingest to themselves. Actually, wait, hold on. Because I believe Stan and Kyle are based off of Matt Stone and Trey Parker, respectively. So, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, Jewish. Okay, Matt Stone is Jewish American. And Matt Stone is the one who voices Kyle, the Jewish one. Yes. I thought that bit died a while ago. I mean, the bit is that he's like that, and I mean, the bit is that he's an asshole, but I feel like sometimes it just doesn't, like, sometimes. It doesn't land a lot of the time for me, because, you know, you don't need to see someone get beat up for you to acknowledge that what the character is wrong and you're not supposed to model them. But, like, there's only so much I can pay attention to the asshole doing asshole things and generally getting away with it before, you know, I'm just, like, sick of it. You know? Cartman can still be an asshole without the Jew bit, even though the creators are Jewish. Your point is 100% true and has a lot of unfortunate influence. Yeah. Like, for example, like, I make, like, Asian jokes every now and then, and I usually, like, preface those jokes by saying, look at me, I can make those jokes, you know? But if I made it, like, the crux of my humor, yeah, obviously non-Asian people are going to look at this and be like, maybe I should say that, you know? Like, people are gonna get the wrong idea. Like, you gotta be a bit, you know, I don't know. I'm always, like, thinking about what I'm saying and how it can influence people to the to both good and bad ends, so I'm usually pretty careful about what I'm doing. Believe it or not. But as a Jewish person, I don't love those jokes, but my parents love South Park. I mean, weirdly enough, South Park does kind of appeal to boomers in a weird way, or like older people, because it's like it's because it's appealing to people who like are anti-intellectual and are like, hey, let's make fun of literally everyone. That way, like, you can't call me out because I made fun of everyone. The real victim here is freedom of speech. And I'm like, ugh. Yes, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, you were really, you're really punching up when you made fun of trans people in the Olympics. Using, like, the most base, fear-mongering, anti-trans rhetoric that is not backed up by anything except for just generalized fear. See, that's what gets me. When Matt Stone and Trey Parker make fun of something that is, like, a very clear reaction to something by making fun of those people who are reacting extremely, I get that. I get that as a source of the humor, but using that, like, reactionary, like, that peddling the, oh, trans women are participating in the Olympics because they're secretly da-da-da-da, and they're just going to take the awards away from real women. Like that is a complete fear-mongering thing. It's not real. But they're validating that in a way by making a whole trans Olympic episode by saying, isn't it funny that Macho Man Randy Savage is pretending to be a woman, but he can't be a real woman? Like, it... Ugh. Like, that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not gonna act like South Park is a completely unredeemable piece of shit, because, again, I did have a South Park phase. There is still a part of me that was like, you know, it can say some interesting things, and honestly, it said some anti-establishment things at points where it was brave to do so. So I'm not gonna act like South Park in its entirety is all centrist, fucking cynical garbage, but a lot of its misses are just the deepest, most painfully white man misses. Like, that's all I can say about South Park, is that, and this is a wild thing to say, South Park and Smiling Friends have one thing in common, in that they feel, like, very, very obviously written by, like, white men in the writing room. Like, there are only, like, straight white men in the writing room. But the upside to Smiling Friends as opposed to South Park is that it's not trying to make a particular commentary, it is mostly trying to be silly, but South Park is more so trying to say something with being silly on the side, and so the obvious political ignorance from the writer's room is more evident when you are trying to make a point about something. And also, in Smiling Friends, the things they're trying to make points about usually come from the creators' own experiences, such as being treated like shit in an industry, or, like, you know, by a higher-up. Like, that's something that's very specific and very livable. As opposed to, man, isn't it funny how people are so sensitive these days? People are so sensitive these days. You can't say anything without being cancelled, right, guys? Ugh. You can't sleep anymore because of woke. Sorry. I just had to take my own little spin on the meme that's going around. You can't ride bikes anymore because of Spoke. You can't drink Pepsi anymore because of Coke. Sorry. I'll stop. Whenever Smiling Friends makes an actual point about something, it's done really well. You can't wear coats anymore because of cloak. You can't breathe anymore because of choke. I do think that sometimes Smiling Friends is, like, when I say that Smiling Friends and South Park have that white man in the writing room thing in common, I do say that slightly to Smiling Friends' detriment, and that if you step back and look at its writing and cast of characters, it is very, very painfully white. But at the very least, it's something you have to step back and think about, rather than something that is like so obvious and ingrained into its like culture. Like, if there's one thing about Smiling Friends that I feel like would benefit, is that it's clearly written by, like, guys. And it's not to be the person who's like, there needs to be more women in the writing room, etc., etc. But, like, literally just having that lack of, like, different perspectives is something that is visible, that is something you can see in something. And obviously, I'm not dogging on them too much for this. Smiling Friends is obviously more of a passion project than, like, the artiest art piece, so I'm not holding it against them too much. But it's still something I've noticed, at the very least. Like, the only women you've seen in Smiling Friends are, like, either, like, gags or, like, nothing. Like, have you, like, unironically, does Smiling Friends pass the Bechdel test? I don't think it does. I don't think it has a single moment where two female characters talk to each other, because female characters are so few and far between. Like, that's what I mean about Smiling Friends, and that, like, listen, and again, I am not saying this as a legitimate, like, this is why the show is bad critique. I am saying this as if you step back from this piece of media, you will realize this trend of, like, lack of this kind of person is more visible the more you think about it. It makes you think about how Smiling Friends, like, something like this can be popular with its lack of female characters and just survive and be successful. But if it was the other way around, it would have a lot of harder trouble. That's all I'm saying. You can't have frogs anymore because of croak. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, things got a little too serious there. I had to end it with something. You can't be serious anymore because of joke! Hooray! You can't ride bicycles inside because of Oak. What the? Where did I draw that? Where did I draw that? Oh, I drew it up here. Oh. You can't spend money anymore because of broke. That one's too real, actually. I like this little glowing effect I'm doing for the outlines to really emphasize the yeah. I know nothing, next to nothing about Smiling Friends and Tuca and Birdie, so I have very little to contribute other than woke jokes. I mean, that's fine. You're still contributing, Safi. Don't worry. God bless. What I mean when said I love you, but this is a silly playlist? Silly love songs. Love core, but silly? Oh, this is lovely. My hopeless romantic ass is sat for this playlist. Oh, hell yeah. Silly, but like in a crushy way. That's my favorite kind of mood. You know what? That's a good Miku. I'm satisfied with that Miku. I'll keep working on the computer backgrounds though. But next we have Len and Rin, my lovelies. Oh, my beloveds. This and my they them pronouns, I'm not beating the multiple people allegations. Subconscious urge to pluralize. I keep forgetting that I'm mirroring this, so when I do this, it's literally just, it's the same thing. I can just look to my right. I'm silly. I love Len and Rin. They're my favorite. Mostly because I had, most of my favorite songs were a Len and Rin song. Mirrored drawings, my beloved. Well, the lines itself aren't going to be mirrored, but they're going to be in a similar pose, so I thought I might as well. She and her friend are watching a YouTube video about a play they're about to be in, but I for some reason had control over the playing. I paused the video. I've hit pause and play a couple times and immediately fessed up that it was you. Aww. I can't believe you hashtag pranked them and immediately fessed up to it. Master prankster. I'm the pranker, baby. Dude, I'm just the silly guy. Whoa, I think it just lightninged outside. Always a little spooky when that happens. Actually, hold on. Let me adjust the proportions a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. My friend accidentally airplayed a shitpost video to my neighbors once. Ugh. Good times, indeed. Oh, it's still lightening outside. How spooky. This is the first Saturday in a while I haven't had a migraine! Oh my gosh, Roll Wildfire! How amazing is that? Maybe we can, like, I don't know, find a common denominator somehow? But hopefully, this starts the trend of you not getting fucking migraines, because Jesus. No one should have to deal with those. My dad says he hasn't had a migraine in years? Really? I thought migraines are something that just comes with being a dad. Because my dad, oh goodness, his migraines, like he had to like figure out the situation as to not develop an, you know, a tolerance to the headache medication he was taking. It was that bad. I don't like those hands. That's good. I like this pose better. I feel your pain. Now me and my mom on the other hands. Damn. The closest I get to daily migraines is them happening 2 days in a row? Oh goodness. Please take Wildfire and Emily mom's migraines and give it to Joe Biden. That would kill him. You do realize, like, that man is on the precipice of death. He is like a British royal, the way he is inching closer to death every day. We need to run the 5th sexy man poll stats. I'm gonna make it so Len is on the left and Rin is on the right. That's the way I've always liked it. Oh my god, I can see a light, like a light just push every now and then outside. Just another Saturday saying stream, of course. I'm sorry if I'm not saying much. I'm actually concentrating a bit on this. So, I apologize if it seems a bit quiet. I am just drawing. Spooky. Saying is locked in. I am! I am very much locked in. Tomorrow is gonna be a big day for the World Wildfire community. Sign me the fuck up. Gonna drop 5 sketchy art pieces and the second and final chapter of an Undertale yellow fic I wrote. Hold on. Hold on. Second chapter? I only know one Undertale. Do I? Is it the Royal Wildfire? Is the second chapter of the fic you're writing? Is that the one with the OC X canon? Is it that one? Because if that's the case, I'm sad. That one's never seeing the light of day, most likely. But I can still see it, right, bestie? I'm kidding. Do what you're comfortable with. Ah, groovy songs to boost your mood. 1.5 million views. Damn. It started off as character analysis of Starlo, and the more I think about him, the more I realize we're lots more similar than we first thought. It's almost like you're drawn to the characters you feel a certain kinship with. AO3 writers doing God's work. It's still kind of a character analysis. Now he gets therapy, kind of. Oh, so kind of like a fix-it a little bit. Oh, Lottie. I don't think. Woo, excuse me. I don't think I'm getting anywhere with Len and Ren right now. So, I think that might be it for the Vocas. I'm a little too late, I'm a little too late, I'm a little too late, too late, too late. I could be home if I didn't know. I could be home.
the bees in the bushes. 18 came around and it was someone malicious. Everybody loses control. I'm a little scared of my soul. Find me, keeper, don't you go near a cheater. Just to believe that you were born enough. I could be old if I didn't know. I could be old if I didn't know about the dangers of foreign stock exchanges from candy-ridden strangers. I just wanna be with you. I wanna be with you tonight, but I'm a little too late. Just be calm and move with the seasons. Winter's gone and so has your reason. Daisies blooming, so will desire. Keep your cool and blow out the fire. It's true, I wanna be with you tonight, but I'm a little too late. I'm a little too late. I'm a little too late. Too late, too late. I could be home if I didn't know. I could be home if I didn't know about the cooties and the creeps that get mission. Even when it's dirty, I would find it delicious. Everybody loses control. I'm a little scared of myself.
There you go.
Find a keeper, don't you go near a cheater. Just you believe that you were born enough. I could be home if I didn't know. I could be home.
I love hearing character analyses. Like, even if I wasn't particularly attracted to Starlo or anyone, he's still a character that I find interesting, and I love hearing Roll Wildfire's, like, thorough dissections of things. Especially when I agree with them. But, yeah, it's always fun. Because I'm like, damn, you truly do know more than me. Actually, this playlist might be super copyrighted, so I may just, soft music, perhaps? Perhaps.
Don't you notice how?
Oh no. Oh whatever. I'm going back to the sillies. He's got so many layers. He Onyan.
You know I gotta have it.
Okay. Actually, this might be it. Sorry. Bye, Jake. This might be it to end the stream too. I see some of the like designs for Len and Rin. I see this one in particular, and I feel like this is very like. You guys forget that they're like 13, right? Like these are 14-year-olds. These are like still in middle school kids, and so I feel like outfits like these are like a bit too teen, like higher teens for me. I mean, they're cool outfits, but I don't know. Anyway, let's go on Twitch and find someone to raid because I'm Seepy and I'm Eepy. Ryan Phantom is streaming the Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door. Oh, perfect. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for coming. Of course. I'm glad to be of service, of course. And I'm glad stream is of service to help me, you know, get stuff done.
Very nice.
Oh, you can hear
My
Ryan
wife.
a little bit. Raid Ryan Phantom. Very nice. Okay. Let me copy Roll Wildfire's message. Oh, why is it copying a message so hard? No, I don't mean the, not the emote, not that.
Damn it.
Damn it, indeed. Okay, I got it. I got like a little bit of it. Damn it, I didn't get it. Okay, Safi. Thank you, Safi. Roll Wildfire, like their message is usually both, so I only want to copy the first one. But yeah, I agree with her, Wildfire. Glad to have you here, Safi. Glad to have like anyone who comes by. Of course, it's always a pleasure. And honestly, I'm gonna have fun watching people play The Thousand Year Door for the 10th time, because it's a fun ass game, and it's rightfully deserves to be remastered all these times. But yeah, you can do it with emotes this time, yay! Hooray! Anyway, give Ryan my love. I will be streaming. Depending on what Roll Wildfire is feeling, we are tentatively doing Ace Attorney tomorrow. But if they're not available, it will just be more art time. And you know how it is. Alright. See you guys. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. I can do Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney confirmed. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye.
She's so awesome. Oh, well. Thank you for the raid, Shangle the